How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. This time of year, I often think back to the winters we used to have when I was a kid growing up in northeastern Pennsylvania. Sometimes we'd get a ton of snow, and it wasn't uncommon that school would be closed for a couple of days. And so when that was the case, as long as we weren't in the middle of a blizzard, my mother would pack my ass into a snowsuit. I'd slip my feet down inside a couple of bread bags and into these big old black boots that I had with buckles on them. I'd suit up like an astronaut and I'd just go outside and spend the whole day exploring. Felt good to be out there, especially with how turbulent my house could be sometimes. And often I'd lose track of time. I wouldn't want to come in. The only way I knew I had to go back in was when I started losing feeling in my fingers and toes. So I never really felt like I fit in with the other kids. I had friends, we played together a lot, but more often than not, I found myself alone. And so I loved to go exploring. And I used to love to look for a big open field. We had a park near us that had a couple of baseball fields, or else I'd walk off into the woods and find a clearing. Someplace where the snow was completely unbroken. And I'd walk off about halfway into that clearing or that field, and I'd just stand there. Close my eyes, take in all the sounds. I don't know how long I'd stand there, but sometimes it felt like hours. Then I'd open my eyes and I'd turn around and I'd look at my tracks behind me. I'd look down, I'd see my feet, my boots covered with snow. And I'd look out at all that untouched snow in front of me that seemed to stretch on forever. As a lot of things do when you're a kid. The idea of this plays really well with the process of emotional recovery work. Sometimes we get so focused on where we are at the moment, the grief, the shame, the anger, the fear, or maybe it's a good day and we're on the verge of being completely manic about that. And on the other hand, if we just look behind us, just at how far we've come. Maybe we see the things that we tripped over along the way, the places where we fell and got back up. And that's the only place we focus on. It's easy to become arrogant or complacent in our work. I remember one time somebody was going to start working with me, and we were talking. And I asked him, well, what are you looking to get out of our work? And they said, well, I've been doing this work for a few decades now, and so I only got one or two small things left to work on, just some fine tuning. Man, I don't even know what the hell that means. And then if you just look out in front of you, and you only see where you haven't been yet, and you only see how far you have to go, you can start thinking, Jesus Christ, isn't this ever going to end? How much work do I have to do here? But when you tie all three together, you tie those three perspectives together, that's when the work really begins to click. You can look back and see how far you've come. You can see the places where you've fallen and gotten up, the places where maybe you wandered a little bit, but they brought you here. And even though you're tired, you can find strength in that, and you can find gratitude. And then you can turn and you can look out in front of you, and you can realize that you still have miles to go. And that can keep you humble. And then you can look down at your feet, where you're standing right now at this moment, and take it in the context of how far you've come and how far you have to go. you can really get a good awareness of where you're at the moment, if you just stop and take in all the details. And so that's how we get through this. With gratitude, with humility, and with awareness, one step at a time. Till next time.